Hello and welcome to The Loop, presented by Midwich. I'm your host, Joe Dunbar. Always happy to be here with you all today. As most of you know, The Loop is a very short-form podcast. We're just designed to give our partners a quick update on what is happening in the world of Midwich. Today, I'm interviewing Tony Ardingo, the technical director for the U.S. for Lightware. So stick around after our updates here. I'm going to interview Tony. We can learn a little bit about Lightware. But before that, let's get into some of the updates. Now, I sort of just gave away the lead right there. My biggest update is that we have formally launched our partnership with Lightware. I'm super excited about that. We're distributing and supporting the products. We've been working closely with the Lightware team to bring this all together, and it's finally facing the public and available. So if you're interested in Lightware products or procuring Lightware products through Midwich, certainly get in touch with your rep. We can help you out, but I'm very excited to have their products in our line card. The Taurus and UCX stuff is kind of the main bread and butter, but you know, they also have HT-based T solutions and AV over IP solutions. And so if you're doing any kind of signal distribution, Lightware is a good company to know about. So stick around for the interview. Now, I mentioned it last time. We also brought iKan on board, which is a company that we're partnering with. iKan does quite a few different things. I don't want to kind of put them into a box or anything like that. What we've really been focusing on and getting the most questions on is their PoE lighting solutions. They also have DMX lighting solutions. There's a teleprompter solution. There's a variety of things in their catalog. Most of the curiosity on our end from our partners has been about the PoE lighting solutions. So we just did an AV Exchange episode with iKan, so you can check that out here on our YouTube page if you want to take a look at that. Otherwise, you know, reach out to your rep. We'd love to talk to you more about iKan or Lightware or any other brands that we carry. So a couple more announcements. AVer is now shipping their TR615 camera. The TR615 is a pro video focus camera. It has all the IO that you could possibly want. It has all the features that you're looking for. It's a giant lens. It's a great camera. And we did an AV Exchange with AVer earlier this year where they announced the camera to be coming, and we did a deep dive. So if you search our YouTube page, you can definitely find that. I'm sure we can link it somewhere. But check that out. If you're looking for pro level cameras, I'm talking pro video cameras, full size sensors, full featured, the TR615 will not let you down and is worth looking at. Microsoft and AVIXA have partnered together to offer Microsoft Teams Room training through AVIXA. And the reason I bring this up is because it's just come out. I have not taken the training. I am going to dive into it to see what I think about it and see what it's all about. But I bring it up because so many problems that we get, the calls that we get about people, integrators on site trying to deploy Microsoft Teams Rooms and having issues tend to stem from, you know, the IT department and the integrator maybe not fully being in sync. And, you know, some of the knowledge that they have in this training should help alleviate those things. So I'll let you guys know what my feedback is once I get a chance to take it. But certainly, if you've got the time, jump in, see what it's all about. And I'd love to hear your feedback as well in the comments or hit me up directly. I'd love to hear about it. The last piece I have for you guys, by the time you hear this, it'll be about a week away. Wednesday, October 29th, we're doing our Tech Connect event in Boston. So not your typical road show. We classed it up a bit. We're going to be doing an AV Exchange live panel there as well. All the vendors will be there. We're on like the 33rd floor or the 133rd floor. No, I'm just kidding. We're on the 33rd floor of the building. It's going to be an epic time. There's going to be, you know, in addition to all the vendors, we've got a band later that night. It's going to be a good deal. So hit our website, go ahead and register. And if you're in the New England area or the Northeast and you've got the legs to come join us, we'd certainly love to have you guys there. There'll be RU training events there in addition to everything else. So come on by, check it out. You can register on our website. And without any further ado, let's jump into my interview with Tony Ardingo, Technical Director for the US from Lightware. All right, Tony Ardingo from Lightware. Tony, thanks so much for joining us, man. Why don't we kick this off? Tell the people who you are, you know, where you're based out of and what you do for Lightware.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Tony Ardingo. So I'm the technical director for all of North America support. So I'm based out of our actually main headquarter office in the US, which is in just outside of Detroit, Michigan.
Okay. Michigan. Are you Michigan native, Tony?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Nice. Right on. I love when it works out that way.
Oh,
Tony,
for sure.
technical director for the US here. So you're the guy who's going to get all my phone calls is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
If I ever have any
Yes.
questions.
All the phone calls, all the emails, all the exciting stuff. We like to make it work.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, Lightware is a new partnership for us. Certainly
Mhm.
not unfamiliar with Lightware, has been around in the industry for a bit. You know, we like to keep this brief and pretty high level. This is really about helping our partners get to know what they need to know, what's hip. And
Sure.
so, kind of the first thing I'd love to ask is like, in a world full of, signal distribution solutions out there, what makes Lightware stand out? Why would we choose Lightware over another brand and what's special?
Yeah. So, the thing that I've always really enjoyed with Lightware is really kind of two parts. One is the amount of information that we get, right? Our larger frame matrices are, bandwidth based. We're not as worried about the VESA standards and things like that. And that's kind of where we got our start. And as we've kind of progressed through our product line, we've just shown and shared as much information about that signal and data that we can.
Hmm.
So if you look at our devices, there's really not anything in the user GUI that I have access to that you wouldn't have access to. So we can get crazy granular. We can see everything about the signal, what's going on, what's actually happening in and out. The other half of that is because let's say there is an issue, I can get a hold of the person and or team that is responsible for building and designing that device and say, hey, this is what's going on. And I can just Teams message them, say, this is what's going on. And they can jump in and help and do whatever we need to do to get it figured out. So
I
that
love
makes,
that. Tony, have you guys does that to say that you've run into scenarios where maybe you've had to like, gotten user feedback and had to patch firmware or something like that to help things kind of jive right? Would that be accurate?
yeah, absolutely. And even just from the development standpoint, we've had one company quite a few infocoms ago, walking around with a sign that says, if you do 802.1x, stop me. And the owner of our company is like, hey, what is it? What do you need? What are you trying to accomplish? Right.
I
Um,
think I'm supposed to stop you.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And it was one of those things we didn't have anything that did it, but he talked to them and understood the why. And now that's part of our UCX. Like when that came out, it had that already natively built in. So, and it was based just on that conversation. So, that's kind of the
Nice.
nice part is they take user feedback very seriously and try to add it in.
I love that. I really, I happen to have, we have signal distribution solutions. I've
Mhm.
worked for a manufacturer myself. Is Lightware designing, producing all these products and all the
Yep,
solutions themselves, or is it something that, okay, so it's not something that you're just ordering out of a catalog or anything like
correct.
that?
Yep, we
Awesome.
design it, we build it. We have all of our manufacturing done in Budapest, Hungary.
Okay.
Recently just opened a new facility to handle all of the additional components and builds that we need to do.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk about the builds a little bit. I think I know
Mm.
the answer to this. I hate to assume things, but
Sure.
what would you guys say is this may be a two-part question. I'm going to
Mhm.
phrase it a little bit here, but I guess it's like I would love to know and would love to let the people know like what's the flagship product line? What's the most
Mhm.
popular solution?
Yeah.
Where do people what's the gateway product for Lightware, if I may?
For sure. So right now it's really been the UCX, right? That's what everybody's kind of been going after, which it's been out for quite a few years now, but it's still the one that drives a lot of people to us.
Mhm.
And we've really just expanded on it, right? So we have like standalone, extension, network based. So we just kind of keep building and adding on to it. So
So
that's
that's the
definitely most
Taurus line.
popular. Yep, the Taurus line. Yes.
Got you. So that we're
Yeah.
leveraging this in conference rooms, particularly classrooms and places like
Yep.
that.
Exactly. Anywhere that you want BYOD and the ability to switch between devices easily, that's where it fits in perfect.
My one of the things I got most excited about, Tony, when we started talking about internally about the partnership is
Mhm.
I know with the Taurus UCX line, there is a solution that can let us do extended displays over
Yes.
two monitors over a USB cable. And I get that request a lot. And until now,
Yep.
have not been able to really give our folks a solution. So I'm very excited about that. That's
Yep.
certainly a particular feature that people do love.
Mhm.
Is there an underrated? So you've been with Lightware for a little
Mhm.
while. Is there like an
Yes.
underrated product that you might have in
Um,
mind that maybe people should know about and don't know about?
I mean, the one that I always bring up, and it's just from my years of doing this, is like our smart transmitter and receiver for like HD base T, right? Most
Okay.
people just put on, I call them dumb boxes, right? But they're transparent. They just convert HDMI to HD base T and flip it back at the other end. Um, my favorite though is like some of our smart TPS devices because they still do that, but they give you EDID management and HDCP management on it, as well as event manager, so you can like run simple automations, right? Like if signals detected, turn on my display,
Oh,
right?
cool.
And it's a, the box is slightly larger, but it adds substantially more to it. So yeah.
Right. Is that like a web UI? Are there
Yeah.
dip switches or?
It's all done through our software. So that is a kind of nice space too, right? It's one piece of software for all Lightware devices. You don't have to
Cool.
find different things. It's Lightware device controller for everything, always. And you can go in there, you can configure everything, see everything, troubleshoot, build it all out. So yeah, it makes it really simple.
Awesome, man. I feel like a lot of partners, speaking to North America in my
Mhm.
experience, I feel like a lot of people tend to learn about a brand and stick with it for a
Mhm.
variety of reasons, some of which make great sense, some don't.
Sure.
And I feel like this is kind of why I alluded to like, okay, so the Taurus is like the gateway product. This is what gets you introduced
Yep.
to Lightware. This is what gets you hooked. So the base T extenders you guys do, a lot of folks use base T extenders and they have their
Mhm.
favorite flavor, but here's a reason to maybe check those out. And
Yeah.
especially if you've had a good experience with the Taurus line or something like that, you
Yeah.
can kind of expand the reach, right?
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so the last question I have for you, Tony, I know you guys are at your leadership meetings this
Mhm.
week and you took some time out to
Yep.
chat with us, so I appreciate it.
Yep.
I don't want to keep it too long, but
Nope.
one thing I love to ask manufacturers, having been on the other side of this
Mhm.
conversation, is there any like I'm looking for some insider info on a product. Is there a tip, a trick, a pro move somebody can do
Mhm.
with one of your boxes that maybe isn't as well known, but like would really level up an installation experience?
A lot of it comes from the troubleshooting standpoint.
Okay.
So on all of our devices, my favorite feature is frame detector.
And how
Um,
does that
so
work?
so you can connect to any of one of our units and look at any input or output and see real-time data passing over the chip,
Cool.
regardless of like EDID settings or anything like that. Just the raw data from the chip, and then see it in real time, right? Every 4 seconds, it's updating, adding a new line for it that you can read and see. So from like an install and troubleshooting standpoint, it's fantastic. So
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's funny if you're on a video project, you're doing some extension or signal distribution or something like that. We
yeah,
know that especially if you've got a handful of displays and a handful of sources, right? These kinds of
yes,
problems can certainly rear their ugly head. So that's pretty
exactly.
nifty. I like to know about that. I appreciate that. Hopefully, the
Yeah,
listeners will take something away from there.
for sure.
Yeah, the stuff doesn't always work right as you plug it in, right? Or they might get a frame jump or something like that.
Yeah,
So. That's a helpful
exactly.
tool. Yeah, a helpful
Yeah, and you can
tool.
see what's happening everywhere. So yeah, it makes it a lot
Yeah,
easier.
super nice. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Tony, there's we could talk about Lightware, I'm sure, all day.
Oh yes.
That's obviously just a brief touch on the product line. We're really
Yep.
excited to have the solutions and have this partnership going on. For our partners who are getting started with us with Lightware as well, where can people find more info about Lightware? I'm assuming the website's the spot to be, or
Yep. Yeah. Lightware.com is the main spot. The other one, if you just want to learn about our devices, though, is our Academy site. So it's academy.lightware.com. And it's got videos, in-depth videos, everything that you could need about our hardware. So,
you know what? That reminds me, I will bump it too. I did sit through, actually, I say sit through. I attended the Taurus Master Class, and it
yep.
was so much good information. I believe there's you guys pretty regularly have the Taurus and USB Master Class as well as other virtual events going on uh,
Yep.
uh,
Yeah.
on the
About every
calendar.
month we do those. Yeah. So we try to do the webinars every month, and then we try to post everything to that Academy site. So if you miss it or want to catch up on more, there's always things on there for it.
I will encourage anybody listening to for sure check out the USB Masterclass. Moving more video over USP or USB, excuse me. A lot of folks are certainly like learning some new things about USB. I have, every time I learn something about USB, I feel like there's more to learn about USB. So this was a
It's
great
never
class.
ending.
Yeah, right. This was a great class. Tony, thanks so much for joining us here on the
Absolutely.
Loop today, man. We'll let you get back to your leadership conference, but I appreciate the insight and look forward to chatting with you
Absolutely.
more.
Me too. Thank you guys so much.
All right, thanks so much. All right, that's my time with Tony. I appreciate Tony's insight. Awesome to kind of hear the scoop directly from the horse's mouth, so to speak. I love the insight about frame detector. That's cool. It's not a solution, a feature that I've had the chance to dive into yet, but I certainly will be looking out for that, certainly in troubleshooting situations as well. So we appreciate you guys joining us here on The Loop. Hopefully you got some good info out of this. As always, right, I'll take comments, likes, subscribes, whatever the thing is, hit the button, do the deal. I really want to know if this is good information for y'all, or if you want to see and hear other things, you can certainly let us know, and we'd love to accommodate you guys. So in the meantime, we appreciate you joining us, appreciate you giving us our time, and we look forward to seeing you next time on The Loop.